Have you ever been sitting in a quiet room, no television, no phone, no one around, and suddenly felt uncomfortable? Like something was missing? I used to feel that way too. Silence felt heavy, almost like loneliness. But over time, I discovered something surprising. That same silence, once I leaned into it, became a source of peace, strength, and even joy. Today, I want to share how being alone and embracing silence changed my life, and how it might just change yours too. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Isn't being alone something we're supposed to avoid? Especially as we get older, people talk a lot about staying busy, staying social, staying distracted. But here's the thing. There's a big difference between being lonely and being alone. And once I started spending time with myself, not out of sadness or boredom, but with intention, I began to notice something powerful happening. I started to hear my own thoughts more clearly. I began to understand what truly mattered to me. And slowly, I realized that joy doesn't always come from the noise around us. Sometimes it comes from the stillness within us. In this video, I'm going to talk about how embracing silence can help us feel more connected, not less. Of course, here is the full combined script for your YouTube video titled The Surprising Power of Silence: How I Found Joy in Being Alone, written seamlessly as one cohesive narrative for your audience aged 60 and above. Have you ever been sitting in a quiet room, no television, no phone, no one around, and suddenly felt uncomfortable? Like something was missing? I used to feel that way too. Silence felt heavy, almost like loneliness. But over time, I discovered something surprising. That same silence, once I leaned into it, became a source of peace, strength, and even joy. Today, I want to share how being alone and embracing silence changed my life, and how it might just change yours too. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Isn't being alone something we're supposed to avoid? Especially as we get older, people talk a lot about staying busy, staying social, staying distracted. But here's the thing. There's a big difference between being lonely and being alone. And once I started spending time with myself, not out of sadness or boredom, but with intention, I began to notice something powerful happening. I started to hear my own thoughts more clearly. I began to understand what truly mattered to me. And slowly, I realized that joy doesn't always come from the noise around us. Sometimes it comes from the stillness within us. In this video, I'm going to talk about how embracing silence can help us feel more connected, not less. How spending time alone, the right way, can boost our mental clarity, reduce stress, and even improve our physical health. And I promise, it's not about becoming a monk or sitting cross-legged in a forest. It's about simple, real moments we can all find, no matter our age or stage in life. So don't click away, and don't just skip through this video. Every insight I share today builds on the one before it, and I don't want you to miss the full picture. If you truly believe that God gives us the strength to care for the body He blessed us with, and you believe in the power of helping others, then go ahead, hit that subscribe button and give this video a big thumbs up. When you do, you're not just supporting this channel, you're spreading hope and health to countless others who might be feeling weak, lonely, or unsure where to start. Your simple click could be the reason someone else finds the strength to take control of their health today. Now, isn't that a beautiful way to make a difference? And don't just watch a piece of this video and leave, my friend. Every single idea I'm sharing today is like a stepping stone, and the real magic only happens when you stay for the whole journey. So settle in, stay with me right to the end, and let's walk this path together. Now, let me take you back to the first time I truly sat in silence. I was out in my little garden early one morning. No one else was up yet. The birds were just starting their songs, the air was still, and for once I didn't reach for my phone or the radio. I just listened. At first, it felt strange. I could hear my thoughts racing. But then, something shifted. The stillness became comforting. I noticed the rustle of the leaves, the warmth of the sun on my face, the gentle rhythm of my own breath. In that moment, I felt calm in a way I hadn't felt in years. That small act of being present, fully present, sparked something deep in me. And that leads to the first key point: finding comfort in your own company. It's not about isolating yourself. It's about learning to enjoy your own presence, your own thoughts, your own rhythm. Start small. maybe 5 or 10 minutes a day without distractions. Sit with yourself like you would with an old friend. You'll be amazed at what starts to rise to the surface when you give yourself that space. One of the most unexpected things I noticed after spending more time in quiet was how my mind began to feel clearer, like a fog lifting. You know how we sometimes walk into a room and forget what we came in for? That used to happen to me all the time. But when I began giving myself quiet time each day, without the TV blaring or my phone buzzing, my memory, focus, and even my decision making started improving. And that brings us to something I never expected: how silence sharpens the mind. When we're constantly surrounded by noise, even the gentle kind, like background music or chatter, our brain is working harder than we realize. It's processing, filtering, reacting. But in silence, the brain gets a little rest, a moment to reset. I noticed I could read longer without feeling tired, recall names more easily, and even remember dreams from the night before. It felt like my brain finally had room to breathe. And it's not just me. Studies have shown that moments of silence can actually help regenerate brain cells. Isn't that incredible? Just a few quiet minutes a day can be like a mini spa treatment for your mind. Now that we've talked about mental clarity, let's talk about something just as important: emotional peace. I'll be honest with you. There were times when being alone brought up feelings I didn't want to face. Regrets, losses, old hurts, they all seemed louder when the world was quiet. But instead of running from those feelings, I started meeting them with compassion. I would sit in silence and say, "Okay, I see you. What are you trying to teach me?" That simple practice changed everything. Over time, the heavy emotions softened. I began to feel lighter, more forgiving, not just toward others, but toward myself. This kind of emotional healing doesn't come from running away. It comes from pausing and listening. Silence gives us the space to do that. It's not always comfortable, but it's deeply healing. Think of it like tending a garden. Sometimes you've got to pull out a few weeds before you can enjoy the blooms. And here's another beautiful thing I've learned: silence makes room for gratitude. When everything is quiet, it's easier to notice the little blessings: the way sunlight dances on your kitchen table, the sound of your grandchild's laugh, the comfort of a warm cup of tea. These aren't big, flashy moments. They're quiet, often overlooked, but in the silence, they shine. You might be wondering, if silence is all about being alone, how can it possibly help us feel more connected to others? But here's the beautiful truth I discovered. When you learn to enjoy your own company, you show up differently in your relationships. You listen better. You speak more thoughtfully. You appreciate others more deeply because you're not rushing to fill every silence with noise. You begin to value presence, your own and theirs. There was a time when I felt the need to keep conversations going, to always have something to say. But as I embraced quiet moments, I became more comfortable with pauses. And do you know what happened? My connections with people actually grew stronger. Whether it was with my children, old friends, or even a kind stranger at the grocery store, I found myself truly listening, being fully present. Silence helped me hear not just their words, but their hearts. That's the real power of silence. It doesn't push us away from the world. It brings us back to it, more grounded and aware. When we take time to recharge, reflect, and reconnect with ourselves, we carry that calm into every interaction. People notice, they feel it, and they respond with the same gentle energy. And the last piece I want to share with you is this: silence brings us closer to something even greater than ourselves. Whether you call it God, the universe, or simply inner wisdom, silence is often where we hear the quietest yet most powerful guidance. I can't tell you how many times I've sat alone, heart heavy, questions swirling in my mind, and in that stillness, an answer came. Not loudly, not in a voice, but in a calm knowing, a whisper of peace that said, "You're okay, keep going." That's the kind of joy that can't be bought, taught, or hurried. It's found in the quiet places of our soul. So if you've been avoiding time alone or filling every moment with noise, I encourage you to try something new. Start small, maybe 5 minutes each morning, just you, your breath, and the sound of your own heart. You don't need to meditate perfectly or think profound thoughts. Just be. Let the silence hold you for a while. I promise you'll come out of it feeling more centered, more grateful, and yes, more joyful. To quickly recap, though I hope it didn't feel like a list, we've talked about finding comfort in your own company, sharpening your mind, healing emotionally, noticing the little blessings, deepening your relationships, and reconnecting with your deeper self. These aren't big, complicated changes. They're gentle shifts that begin with just a few quiet moments each day. Remember, small steps lead to big transformations. You don't have to retreat to a mountaintop to find peace. It's right there in your living room, your garden, or even in the stillness before you fall asleep. All you have to do is welcome it. If this video spoke to your heart, I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment and share your own experiences with silence, what you've learned, what you're still discovering. And if you haven't yet, please give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. It truly means the world, not just to me, but to the whole community we're building here. Every like, every share, every kind word helps us reach more people who need a little hope, peace, and encouragement in their lives. Here's to finding beauty in stillness. Here's to learning that being alone doesn't mean being lonely. And most of all, here's to living your best life at any age. You deserve it.